Contention 1. Global warming. First, global warming is happening and caused by humans. Overwhelming scientific consensus support this. According to meta-analysis by scientist James Powell reviewed more than 24,000 scientist article on climate change published between 2013 and 2014. Powell identified 69,406 authors, 4 of whom rejected climate change as being caused by human emissions. That's 1 in every 17,352 scientists. I found only 0.006% who reject it. Scientists are virtually unanimous. Anthropogenic global warming is true. Second, a carbon tax can help. It's the single best way to cut CO2 emissions and prevent the worst effects of global warming, drought, floods, and superstorms. According to Laura Tyson, a professional at Berkeley Business School, a carbon tax is the most effective way to discourage carbon consumption and lower the risk of catastrophic climate change. In May, carbon dioxide reached 400 parts per million. UN negotiators have set a limit of 450 parts per million to prevent irreversible changes. The world will cross this limit in a matter of decades. Evidence of climate change is everywhere. Melting Arctic ice and extreme weather events include record droughts, heat waves, epic floods, and superstorms. A carbon tax is the most effective and simplest way to reduce carbon emissions. Carbon emissions have an unpriced societal cost. A tax on carbon would reflect these costs and discourage carbon emissions. Producers and consumers would adjust their behavior. Any tax on carbon can be an important step in the right direction. Contention 2. Green economy. A carbon tax would help the U.S. move toward a green economy by boosting economic growth while also benefiting the environment. According to Richard Capitan, writing for the Central American Progress, a carbon tax will be paired with additional investments in clean energy. There is also a great need to repair transportation and water infrastructures. Some revenue from the carbon tax could be directed toward these sectors. These investment benefits the economy. Infrastructure investments would put people to work. Even after protecting low-income consumers and investing in infrastructure, billions of dollars could be left over to help address our nation's debt. Climate change, economic growth, and fiscal responsibility may not appear to be intimately linked. They all have different causes. However, a price on carbon can make a significant contribution to solving each of these challenges. Contention 3. Debt reduction. The U.S. urgently needs to address its budget deficit, and revenue generated from a carbon tax would directly help reduce it. Sebastian Roger and John Riley of MIT says, the U.S. faces a large federal deficit and all parties recognize the need to eventually bring it under control. The recession greatly exacerbates and the deficit problem by reducing tax receipts. The debt-to-GDP ratio would rise to 77% by 2021, far above the roughly 35 to 40% that was maintained for the most of post-World War II period. While raising taxes is never popular, a carbon tax is potentially a win-win-win solution. First, carbon tax revenue can allow revenue-neutral relief on personal income taxes, corporate income tax, or payroll taxes, or could be used to avoid the limit cuts to social programs. Defense spending CBO estimate it would raise on the order of $1.25 trillion over the next 10 years. This is a big deal. Failure to deal with the risk prolonged economic decline, according to Romania Bosia, research manager of the Heritage Foundation. America is on a dangerous budget path.